Best Resonator combos for Crimson King Extended. So in this video, we're going to look at Crimson King combos with the extra cards that I suggested you add in a couple videos ago in the best cards to add to the Crimson King Structure deck. So the first combo we're going to look at is the Resonators with the Bystial engine. For this, the extra cards you're going to need is your Bystial Lubellion, Bystial Saronir, Etude of the Branded, and Branded Beast. Other than this, the only other cards you'll need are all inside the Crimson King Structure deck. So this is a 2-card combo. The cards you'll need in your hand are your Soul Resonator and the Bystial Lubellion. So to start off, we're going to activate Lubellion's effect, discarding this card to add Bystial Saronir from our deck to our hand. Next, we're going to normal summon our Soul Resonator and use his effect to add Bone Archfiend from our deck to our hand. Now, like normal, we're going to special summon Bone Archfiend by discarding a card in our hand to place him on the field. Only now, Bystial Saronir's effect will activate from the graveyard. When he's sent to the graveyard, we can send one branded spell or trap to the graveyard. We're going to send our Etude of the Branded. This will come up a bit later. Next, as always, Bone Archfiend's effect. We're going to reduce our level of our Soul Resonator by sending Crimson Resonator to the graveyard to decrease Soul's level by 1. Now we have a level 2 and a level 4. So just like with every other combo, we're going to tune our Bone Archfiend with our Soul Resonator in order to synchro summon Red Rising Dragon. Red Rising Dragon will then, of course, special summon Crimson Resonator from our graveyard. And then with Crimson Resonator's effect, we're going to special summon 2 level 2 Resonators from our deck. So you can special summon 2 Vision Resonators, which will be fine. You should at least have 1 Vision Resonator. But for the sake of this combo, we're going to assume that you only have 1 copy of the structure deck, and we're going to summon our Vision Resonator and our Red Resonator. Next, with the effect of Red Resonator, if you chose to summon him, when he's summoned, you can gain life points equal to the attack of your Red Rising Dragon. So that's a nice bonus. Next up, we are going to tune our Vision Resonator with our Red Rising Dragon in order to synchro summon Scar Red Dragon Archfiend. Now the effect of our Vision Resonator will go off, allowing us to add Crimson Gaia to our hand, and of course Crimson Gaia's effect will allow us to get Red Zone to our hand. Next, we're going to use the effect of the Bystial Lubellion in our graveyard. With this card's effect, we can tribute a level 6 or higher Dark Dragon monster in order to special summon this guy from our graveyard. So we're going to tribute our Scar Red Dragon Archfiend to special summon the Bystial Lubellion. Now with Scar Red's effect, we can special summon Red Dragon Archfiend straight from our extra deck. And finally, we're going to use the Bystial Lubellion's effect to add Branded Beast, place it on our field. Now this is the end of our board, and this is actually a insane setup. So what's going to happen now is we're going to go to our end phase. So during the end phase, Red Dragon Archfiend's effect will activate, destroying all non-attacking monsters. Since this is assumingly our first turn, none of our monsters has attack, but that's okay. We're going to use his effect, and we're also going to use the effect of our Branded Beast. Branded Beast will place Etude of the Branded face up on our field. And then we're going to use Soul Resonator's effect to protect our monsters from being destroyed by Red Dragon Archfiend. That is an insane combo right there. Red Dragon plus Soul Resonator protects all of your monsters. Alright. Now, during our opponent's turn, they don't have to do anything. You can do this as soon as they draw, but as soon as anything happens, if you want, we've got a lot of effects to go off of here. So first of all, Branded Beast. Once per turn during the main phase, so if it's your opponent's main phase, if you control a Bystial monster, which we do with Lubellion, you can tribute 1 dragon monster, and then target 1 card your opponent controls and destroy it. So that already is a pretty powerful effect. But we've also got the effect of Red Zone. When our opponent activates a card or effect while we control a Red Dragon Archfiend, which we do, or a Synchro monster that mentions it, you can target 1 card on the field and destroy it. So right off the bat, we've already got 2 destruction effects, which are really powerful. We can use Branded Beast to tribute our Lubellion and destroy 1 of their cards, or if they activate a card effect, we can use Red Zone to just pop any of their cards. But the other thing that we can do is actually activate the effect of Etude of the Branded. With this card's effect, during either player's turn, immediately after this effect resolves, you can Synchro Summon 1 Synchro monster using monsters you control as material, including a dragon monster. So you can now use the effect of Etude of the Branded to tune your Red Dragon Archfiend with Crimson Resonator and Red Resonator in order to synchro summon Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity. This card is very, very powerful, so now his effect is going to activate, which is when this card is synchro summoned, you can activate this effect for the rest of this turn. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects on the field. And your opponent can't activate cards or effects in response to this effect's activation. This effect is insane, and placing this on the field during your opponent's turn is even more insane. Generally, you're meant to summon this during your turn, which makes it a little bit more balanced, but with the effect of Etude of the Branded, we can actually get out King Calamity on our opponent's turn, which will shut down all of their cards and effects, which is absolutely incredible. And still, we can even use Red Zone and Branded Beast if we need to. So that is all that we need to know for this combo. This combo is ridiculous with a very powerful end board, and that is only with a couple Bystial and a couple Branded cards. That is the only Bystial engine that you need to add to your Crimson King Structure deck, but of course you can go full out and add a full Bystial engine to make the deck even more powerful. But this is just a showcase of how powerful the Bystial engine can be in this deck to set up a field with 2 destructions and complete negation of all of your opponent's cards and effects on the field. That is ridiculous. Alright, the next combo we're going to look at is what would happen if you added Obssessive Uvualoop and Bystial Dispater into your deck. These 2 cards together create an insane Resonator combo, and every other card is straight out of the Crimson King Structure deck. But before we get into this combo, I would just like to give a quick announcement to the Jack Atlas merch on my shop. If you are a fan of the Crimson King Structure deck or the King himself, then be sure to check out our new Pulse of the King collection on the merch shop at senkara.myspreadshop.com. You can get any of these designs. These are original designs done by me. You can get them on posters, shirts, cups, friggin' anything you can think of. Just go to the customize tool and add that to any product that you want, or just browse the collection that we already have. We have a few Jack Atlas designs on the shop, and it is really, really cool. I'm really happy with how these turned out, so it would mean a lot to me if you could check those out. Alright, back to the combo. Okay, so this is a pretty standard 2-card combo. We're gonna need our Soul Resonator and our Crimson Resonator, or you could have the Obsessive Uvualoop in your hand instead. So what we're going to do first is special summon our Crimson Resonator, and then we're going to normal summon Soul Resonator. Then we're going to use Soul Resonator's effect to add our Bone Archfiend to our hand. Now if you had Obsessive Uvualoop in your hand, then you would just keep that in your hand and discard it to special summon Bone Archfiend. But what we're going to do now is send our Crimson Resonator to the graveyard to special summon Bone Archfiend. And then we're going to use Bone Archfiend's effect. Again, if you had Obsessive Uvualoop, at this point, you would send your Crimson Resonator to the graveyard, but what we're going to do is send Obsessive Uvualoop from the deck to the graveyard, and this will decrease our Soul Resonator's level by 1. Now, as with all of these combos, you're going to go into your Red Rising Dragon. Red Rising's effect will then activate, as always, special summoning Crimson Resonator from the graveyard. And then we're going to use Crimson's effect to go into our Synchron Resonator and our Vision Resonator. Now with these 2 on the field, we can go ahead and special summon Scar Red Dragon Archfiend by tuning our Red Rising with our Vision Resonator, and synchro summon the level 8 Scar Red Dragon Archfiend. Now we're going to use Vision Resonator's effect to add Crimson Gaia from our deck to our hand, and then use Crimson Gaia, of course, to add our Red Zone. Next up, we're going to tune our Scar Red Dragon Archfiend with our Synchron Resonator in order to synchro summon our Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. Next, we're going to use the effect of our Scar Red Dragon Archfiend, and we're going to chain the effect of our Synchron Resonator. So Synchron Resonator's effect will add Vision Resonator from our graveyard to our hand, and then Scar Red will special summon Red Dragon Archfiend straight from our extra deck. Next, what we're going to do is activate the effect of Obsessive Uvualoop in our graveyard. This will banish Red Rising Dragon from the graveyard in order to add Uvualoop to our hand. And then we're going to use it from our hand to banish Scar Red from our graveyard and special summon Uvualoop straight to the field. Next up, we're going to tune our Crimson Resonator with our Red Dragon Archfiend in order to synchro summon the Bystial Dispater. Dispater has a really cool effect that combos extremely well with Obssessive Uvualoop, so we're going to activate that now, special summoning our Red Rising Dragon straight from our Banish Zone. And now we're going to tune Obssessive Uvualoop with Red Rising Dragon to summon the level 10 Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Bane. Finally, to wrap this combo up, we're going to special summon our Vision Resonator. And then we're going to use Bane's effect to tribute Vision Resonator and special summon our Red Dragon Archfiend. To wrap this up, we're going to set our red zone onto the field. And just like that, we have 4 extremely powerful Synchro monsters with more than enough attack to deal an OTK to our opponent. We also have some very powerful effects, so let's take a look at these one by one. Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. This guy has a quick effect that you can target one face-up card your opponent controls and negate its effects to the end of the turn. That is already incredible to just shut down your opponent, which is always a great thing to do. Also, when this card inflicts battle damage to the opponent, you can target a tuner in your graveyard and special summon it in defense mode. This effect is less important, but still a really good card to continue comboing off of. But that quick effect to negate our opponent's effects, that is fantastic. Note also that it is one card the opponent controls, not just one monster, which is really, really good. Next we have Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Bane. This card's effect is that you contribute one monster to target one Red Dragon Archfiend monster in your graveyard and special summon it. This effect we just used to special summon our Red Dragon Archfiend, but we can use it again on our next turn if we have that set up. Also, when this card inflicts damage to our opponent, we can special summon 2 tuner monsters with the same level, one from the deck and one from the graveyard in defense position. You can use this effect to grab your Vision Resonator and your Red Resonator from your deck, and then go into more Synchro summons later on, which is really, really great. He also has 3,500 attack points. Bystial Dispater. This card is incredible. With this card's effect, you can target one banished light or dark monster, special summon it to your field. That already is great, and we can do that again on our next turn to bring back our Scar Red Dragon Archfiend. He also has a quick effect. When your opponent activates a monster effect, you can target one banished card, shuffle it into the deck, then if you shuffled it into the deck, destroy that monster, or if you shuffled it into your opponent's deck, negate that activated effect. So this effect is kind of incredible. If your opponent has banished cards, you can shuffle their cards into the deck to negate their card effects, but you do have a banished card with Scar Red Dragon Archfiend, so you can shuffle that back into your extra deck and destroy the opponent's monster, which is absolutely incredible. Already a destruction and negate right there. We also have, of course, Red Zone. When your opponent activates a card or effect where we control a Red Dragon Archfiend or Synchro monster that mentions it, which we have 3 of, you can target one card on the field and destroy it. Also, this card has another effect that again works very well with Obssessive Uvualoop. You can target one of your banished Dark Dragon Synchro monsters and special summon it. We can do this on our opponent's turn too, to special summon our Scar Red Dragon Archfiend if we so wish. Finally, we have Red Dragon Archfiend, who will have an effect that will activate during the end phase, thus destroying all of our monsters, but luckily we have Soul Resonator to banish instead. So just like that, we have a very powerful field with a lot of destruction, a couple negates, and just a massive OTK right here. On our next turn, we can special summon Scar Red Dragon Archfiend. On our opponent's turn, we can use Bystial Dispater to shuffle Soul Resonator into our deck. And then on our turn, we can special summon the Scar Red Dragon Archfiend, which will give us 5 Synchro monsters, each with 3,000 or more attack points. If our opponent just lets up for even a moment, they are completely done. If they only have 2 monsters on the field, there will be nothing that they can do. And we already have 2 destructions in the form of Red Zone and Dispater, which will take care of any of their cards. We also have a Crimson Gaia on the field, who on our next turn can add a Red Dragon Archfiend or card that mentions it from the deck or graveyard to our hand, except for Crimson Gaia. And then when your Red Dragon Archfiend declares an attack, you can change all monsters your opponent controls to face down defense position. This effect is incredible and will mean we can absolutely OTK during our next turn. When we attack with Red Dragon Archfiend, all of our opponent's monsters will be face down defense position, meaning that their effects can't activate, which is already a plus. And then Red Dragon Archfiend, when he destroys a defense position monster, will destroy all defense position monsters our opponent controls. And then we follow up with our 4 3,000 attack point beat sticks. I mean, this combo is insane, and that is only with grabbing an Obssessive Uvualoop and a Bystial Dispetter. So just, whoa, I accidentally stopped the game recording, but that's okay. So just like that, with a few additions to your Crimson King Structure deck, you can pull off some incredibly, insane combos. That was a really weird sentence, but I'm rolling with it. So if you haven't done so already, be sure to check out my video on where I combined 3 copies of the structure deck into one amazing deck. Check out my previous video when I went over the combos that you need to know to run the Crimson King structure deck. And finally, check out the video just before that one in which I go over the best cards to add to your Crimson King structure deck, which includes the Bystial package, your Obssessive Uvualoop, and a couple others to really just make this deck that much more powerful. So thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you found this video helpful at all, please leave a like, subscribe for more, comment down below, and let me know what you want to see next. Thank you again so very much for watching. My name has been Senkara, and until next time, see ya.